So we thought it'd actually be a good idea while we have all these TE37'S out. We thought it would probably be a good idea then to show you a replica wheel from a generic brand. Seems that we have one of them here also. And show you some of the key differences so you can actually spot a genuine T37. The multi-stud fitment that you'll find on a lot of replicas. The holes drilled on a T37 will always be just single fitment. They'll never be multi-fitment. The newer TEs then, obviously they were trying to combat counterfeit kind of wheels, so they have a lot of stamping in them, like Volk Racing. Now, on some of these you're going to see Vork Racing and forced, I don't know why, but it'll say weird stuff like that. This brand actually ripped off the 19-inch design because the wheel spoke actually gets skinnier as it goes in, like you see on the big 19s, where it doesn't do that on the 18s or 17s or smaller ones. The spoke stays chunky.
It's like they shrunk the 19s.
Yeah. The overall profile as well, like it comes out nearly past the lip, which you generally don't see on a T37. But the absolute classic way, just how you can find out straight away on how they're authentic or not, is if you ever see a wheel and you're unsure about it, flip it around like this and then have a look at the back. And I think like 99% of T37s are going to have a machined rear face, which is going to say made in Japan, and it'll probably say Raise on it and stuff. So we'll pull one up and show you. Even with the small ones, straight away you see the proper machining to make them as light as possible. Has the stamping, it says made in Japan, Raise Engineering, all the good stuff. And I think pretty much every T37 is going to have a machined rear mounting face that's going to have information stamped in behind it. It's like if you pull up some of the bigger wheels, you'll see it as well. See them there. So the bigger ones then are completely machined out. The sides obviously for lightweight, but once again it says Raise Engineering, made in Japan. But that is a guaranteed way if you're ever curious, because from what I can gather from the years of looking at most TEs, they usually have that kind of mounting surface. If you pull up any of them, again look, it's usually a kind of a completely cut in design like that. And then replicas do not say made in Japan. If you see it there, this replica says made in Taiwan. There's no made in Japan anywhere on it. So now there's all different types of replicas. You've got like JR, Rhoda, XXR, the list goes on and on. Bola or Ebolas, I don't know what they are.
Borlas?
Ebola, BB somethings, don't know. But they're all obviously ripping off the original design. But usually you can just look at the profile and you'll kind of figure it out. If you can afford to buy this stuff, cool.
Please.
But if you can afford to buy this stuff and that's all you can afford, I don't know. I don't care. Everyone's at different levels in the car world, and I feel like replica wheels and stuff are kind of like a gateway drug for some people. Obviously not everybody can afford big stupid $4,000 wheels. I mean, we're not able to do this, but some people have the sickness worse than others, and they eventually buy this stuff and they try justify it. So I would consider maybe the Rodas and stuff like that is, you know, if you're dipping your toes into the car world, a lot of this stuff, and I probably get a lot of shit for this, but I don't mind. And then like, depending on what way you want to go with your interest in cars, if you're in it a long time and you have a car, you know, that you love and that, you probably will eventually be able to justify spending stupid money on wheels, especially if you're in the car scene years. I feel like a lot of the budget stuff is for people that just enjoy the look, they want to get in and get out, or people that use them for competition drifting and stuff like that, and they can't afford to put stupid expensive wheels on their car. Like, there's a place for Rodas and JRs and all that stuff, and there's a place for the genuine stuff. And at JDM Distro, we sell some of the replica stuff as a gateway to lure people maybe to the other stuff, because when I have a conversation with a lot of people that like buy replicas and that, like, they're not fully versed on the world of car stuff and authentic wheels and that. And as you learn, like all of us, you eventually figure out all this stuff, and then eventually you become a T37 snob or something. Like, I have T37s, and yeah, I like them. And like I said, I'm not going to turn my nose at someone that can only afford to buy replicas and that. Eventually they might be a person that's telling somebody else about more expensive wheels. You know, we're all on different levels of the ladder. I know there's a lot of hate towards reps and that, but like, you know, you don't know what people can afford or what they can do. I couldn't afford this stuff for a long time, and the sad thing is, now that I have a job here, I still can't afford this stuff. It's terrible. I don't have $4,500 for bronze T37s.
I don't have $4,500.
But you know what? I could probably justify it if I had a car. I would just say that I need them. The only thing that I will say to end this video, because it is a controversial subject and people get a little bit upset about it, and that's totally fine. It's nice to have these conversations. If you buy authentic wheels and you don't damage them, they usually go up in value, especially any of the original Japanese stuff. Like if you were looking, you bought bronze T37s about 3 or 4 years ago for like €1,500, and now you know that they're worth $4,500. Like, that's pretty cool. That's like, you know, investing in stonks and all that great stuff that people like to do. Genuine wheels are definitely like an investment, because your money just kind of turns into wheels, and then you can usually get most of your money back. Where with replicas, usually like the wheels are, you know, good price when you start buying them, and then like after a year or two, then it's hard to get your money back. So it just depends more if you're just in for the look, or you want to go for all the heritage and blah 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 and all the JDM points. Just depends on how high up the ladder you are with the sickness. So we've finished drooling over T37s, and we're unfortunately going to ruin this beautiful collection that we took photos of. I hope you got photos of it all laid out up on the roof, didn't you? I think both of us did. Yeah, just in case. I'd be so worried in case you never see it again. But beautiful. So now we've moved on to the next chapter of what happens when we open containers and unload everything, is shoot the wheels. So our wheel wall is looking a little bare again. Same cycle, same process. Adrian has taken the tires off all of these, so we're just surrounded by a beautiful collection of wheels once again. It's kind of hard to take it all in. Consistently amazes me how many wheels have been made in Japan, and how many wheels we've never really had in here before. Each time, you're just having them all like with the tires taken off, laid out like this is so cool. So we've got quite a few to go through, so you can come along on the other process which we enjoy here at Distro, which is photographing the wheels. So each set will be brought up, photographed, take a picture like that, then take a picture like this then to show kind of the depth of the wheel, then kind of a side angle one, and then each individual wheel so people can zoom in on them to have a look. So it's the system we use for all the wheels just finds that it works the best and it looks the most uniform when you're putting stuff on the website. So now we've started putting them on carpet to kind of spruce things up, but tries to give, you know, the overall depth and size of the wheel. Try and be honest as possible as well. Obviously some of the wheels are used and they've got little dents and scratches and stuff in them, so try to be as genuine as possible. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff here. In the winter we're kind of stuck because we're trying to make the most of very limited light, so it's been raining for about a month, so today is the first actual day with reliable weather that we can use. So yeah, the joys of shooting stuff in winter and using the outdoors of Ireland to take your photos. Not the most reliable thing. Beautiful. We might actually fill the wall. Probably will actually. Most of the stuff looks like it's stock.
Well, all this is stock, like.
Yeah, so we probably will fill the wall again.
We've stacked up what's like on order.
Yeah.
And then they're on order.
Maybe. It always looks like more when it's laid out on the ground, so.
That's another thing, yeah.
But there's probably enough sets there to fill the wall, I would say so. And these are all stock already. Right, let's begin. We will begin with the TEs. Whoop. Kicking stones at them. Nice. Not a bad way to start. So for anyone wondering, you're probably not wondering, but we always shoot the wheels here outside the door, and we kind of use the reflection of the building when the sun goes behind it because it casts a nice shadow on the wheels. It's the best we have. A lot of other places in other countries, you know, have really nice places to shoot wheels, but like the outside of buildings in Ireland is covered in moss and usually dog shit. So it's not really the best backdrop to have this like terrible pebble dashed wall for like nice Japanese wheels. And we could close the shutter, but that means bringing every set of wheels out through the door to have kind of like a Japanese style shutter, so it's very time consuming. So when we do cool stuff, we usually shoot it in front of the shutter, but because we have like hundreds of wheels to get through, this seems to be the best setup. And we started using this piece of carpet because we just want to be nicer to wheels because they're worth more money now, and we don't want it to just be the road. So
Sad.
yeah, but look, everything we can do to help. So yeah, and unfortunately we can't do anything inside because it's just kind of a bit gloomy in the warehouse most of the time, and the lighting isn't great. We had a studio set up, but it wasn't practical for how much stuff we need to photograph. So, but actually putting the wheels down on this like shitty road surface is yeah, I guess it's not the most ideal thing. So yeah, try to square the wheels off like this. It's funny. The problem with shooting the wheels is because we're always so limited for time that like trying to get them done as quickly as possible, because like there's literally like the sun has gone behind the building here. See how it's kind of dark, and that's kind of the sweet spot for us shooting this stuff. But you want to spend more time taking these photos, but like try to get through them as fast as possible. There's so much cool stuff that we're photographing that yeah, it's great photographing this stuff as someone that likes photography, but it's also a bit shite. See, some of them have a little bit of crust on them, but yeah, it's kind of sad. You're photographing all your favorite wheels and then they're just like disappearing, but it's part of the job. You reckon we'll fill it? Day 2 of shooting the wheels. Big panic because there's a storm coming again. So like, it's funny, we have to photograph like a couple of hundred wheels in like about an hour and a half space, like 2 or 3 days of a week when it's not raining out in winter, because that's when the light goes behind the building and there's storms on the way. So it's like a massive panic to get all this stuff done. It's funny because people probably don't realize that when they see the pictures on the website. They just go, oh, pictures, but like we're always like trying to squeeze them out in this tiny window, and we have this whole system of bringing them up here, laying them out, and then panicking to get them done. So it's pretty funny. Trying to appreciate all this stuff, but then also panicking and trying to shoot them as fast as we can. So it's usually all of us at this together. So yeah, kind of funny. Look at these little gems. Super fine rim. Beautiful. The racing hearts are so good. What an absolutely gorgeous wheel. I would like to own these. The weather is changing. But yeah, finishing on these Wedsport SA72R. They look amazing outside. Beautiful. One of the nicest wheels. Candy blue over the black is incredible. Underrated. Yeah. Here you go. Enjoy. Enjoy.
Again?
We're finished. With 100 wheels photographed. Bye. Give me a good pose there, Stephen. Yeah. You like that wheel, don't you?